Welcome back. All right, so what we have at the moment is our basic main menu level with a really very non-functional main menu with it, just a single button that just gives us the message up here of game pressed. So as I mentioned before, if we have a look on the right-hand side here, you can see these. So this is a completely empty level. When we hit play, we get these actors, or these particular classes, blueprint classes, created for us automatically. So we have a first-person character, we have a first-person game mode, we have a few other things as well. What have we got? Things that we are interested in, and our player controller are also interested in as well. We've got a player state there, which will allow us to it's got kind of a place to hold variables and things. We don't need to worry about that one. What do we got? Game session, game network manager. So, and if we look down here, we also have, so we have our game mode, override, we've got our default pawn class, player controller class, game state, player state, and spectator class. So now let's actually, while we're here, Control Shift S, because I like to save things. If we come down to our content drawer and we go down into the first person section here and our blueprints, you'll see we have BP first person character, BP first person game mode. These are the ones we're interested in. We also have our BP first person projectile and BP rifle. We're not worried about those right at the moment. These are sort of for later on. But let's open up our BP first person character. We did put some code in here in the last set of videos. So we have seen in here before. This is the code we put in here. This is just creating our HUD, our on-screen HUD. And we also have some other stuff in here, which is really about looking around and moving. And if we go to our viewport, you'll see as well we've got things in here. So we've got a camera and we've got a collision box or collision capsule, and we also have a first-person mesh. So that's great for our game, and we've set this up for our game, but we don't want this stuff in our main menu. We don't want a pair of arms or anything appearing before that, and we don't want to have to deal with all the code that we've put in to our game. At the moment, we don't have a lot of code, of course, but at some stage, this is going to get quite large, potentially. And we don't want that in our main menu. Our main menu is quite simple. All we want to do is go in there and do things to do with the sort of game management of the game, and deciding are we going to play or continue or something like that. So what we can do is actually create our own versions of these, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So if we come back into our content drawer, I'm going to come to my blueprints, and what I tend to do is I set up a folder. I've got one here I created already called Game BPs, where all the game-specific blueprints sit. So that's not the actors. So we've got out here, we have our interactive lights. I'm not talking about these ones. I'm talking about the game mode, the player character class, the player controller, etc. So I like those to be kind of in here because they're special blueprints. And what we can do, we can create our blueprints in here. First up, we're just going to right-click and say, give me a blueprint class. And I want a special one here now. So the first thing I'm going to create is a game mode base. So game mode is a special blueprint, which we can use to, we can assign it to a particular level. So we know each level or each map has its own level blueprint, but we can't go and take that level blueprint and apply it to another level. With the game mode, we can create one game mode and apply that to other levels. So each level has a game mode as well as its own level blueprint. So let's call this BP main menu game mode, like so. Control S, and if I double click on that, it opens up the game mode class. Let me just close this and open it again, and I have a feeling Oops. If we open this up again, is it going to give me... Yeah, okay. So you notice this is a different window than I got before. You might see this one at some stage somewhere. And if we look up the top, we have a note. This is a data-only blueprint, so only the default values are shown. It does not have any script or variables. If you want to add some, open the full blueprint editor, which we can do. So at the moment, I don't need the full blueprint editor because, in fact, all I'm interested in is these things right now. But if we go ahead and do that, click on that, and we get what we had previously, this full blueprint editor. We still have access to this, which is great, so that's fine. But we can also put some of our own code in here as well. Now, what we can do is we come back to our main menu. We can now override our game mode here. So we can come into a drop down, and we can go BP main menu game mode is the one that I was using. So we can just grab that one. And at the moment, we still have well, actually, in fact, what we've got in here is different to what we had previously. So we have player controller is our just basic player controller. Our default pawn class is now a default pawn. That was our player character before. And you can see they're all just going back to sort of basic ones. This will work. So having swapped that over, if we now hit play, we still get the same thing. Okay. But now instead of having the first person ones in here, we have the default ones in there. So that's great. But what if we want to create our own ones that we have control over as well? Well, we can do that. The ones that we're interested in particularly, if we go back into here, right click, go to blueprint class, really is our character, number one. So that's a type of pawn. In fact, we could go to pawn, which is even, so the character is in fact a child of the pawn class. We don't need to walk around in the menu, so we could just go to a basic pawn class, and I think that's, if we want to go and check, default pawn class is our default pawn, so we could just go into that one. We don't need a player controller we don't need our player character for that one, so we can just go blueprint class, and we could go to our pawn. So we're not going to be able to move around our main menu. So that, I think that should work. So let's go BP underscore main menu pawn, like so. Control Shift S. And should we open that up? Let's have a look at it. Again, I think if we open it up, and if we close it again and now open it up, I think it may do the same as last time. Yeah. So it's just the way that Unreal works. The first time you open it up, it gives you, when you've created a new blueprint, it gives you everything. If there's no code in it afterwards, it gives you just this one. So we're not putting anything here at the moment. We're not putting any code in here right now. So I'm okay with that. And we're going to go to our game mode, and we're going to go default pawn class is now our BP main menu pawn. And the final one, let's compile and save that. The final one that I want as well, so I do want another one, is the player controller. This is the one where we often put code in to do with the player itself. And the player controller is what controls the screen or the viewport. So we want to grab one of those. So let's just go again, blueprint class. And this time we want a player controller. And I'm going to call this BP underscore main menu player controller. Lovely. Now there is such thing as an AI controller, which is a similar thing. These are both what we call controllers, and they can both take control of a pawn. So if you create an AI controller, it's a similar type of thing, but it allows the AI to control a pawn or a character as well. So just mention that there. So fantastic. Let's just go and make sure we've got that selected in here. Oh, you look what it's done. It's gone and got rid of our details. If we want those, just go to class defaults. We'll get them back. This is our class defaults again. And we want our player controller to be our BP underscore player controller. Fantastic. So we've got all that. Compile and save. And now if we go and hit play, it's all the same. And you can see we've got our game mode, we've got our BP pawn, we've got our BP player controller. So now all of these are being run, and we can put code into these to do various things. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. I might pause again and then come back and we'll put some code into the player controller.